My favorite Kirby copy ability is Stone. The way this title is written out makes it sound like someone else is the one saying it, but it's me. I'm the one who likes Stone the most out of all the copy abilities. Now when I say this to people, they usually think one of three things. 1. He probably played Kirby like once at a friend's house and only used Stone during that time. 2. He's probably the kind of guy to stay in Stone form in the corner of the screen and let everyone else do the work. Or 3. This guy's probably just joking around. I will address all of these one by one. First of all, let's get the one about me joking out of the way. I'm dead serious about this, that's why I'm dedicating an entire video to this one topic. Next. I'm not exactly the best at Kirby, but I wouldn't consider myself a complete newbie either. I've at least played through the entirety of Kirby's Return to Dreamland and tried out every ability and its moves fairly thoroughly. For the sake of narrowing our focus, I'll only discuss Kirby's Return to Dreamland in this video, since it's the game I'm most familiar with and can record gameplay for. Some of you might be wondering, if I've actually tried out all the abilities, why did I still decide that Stone was my favorite ability? The only redeeming quality about it seems to be that I become invincible once I turn into a stone. And after all, it doesn't have much variety in its moveset. Well, that's not true. I can drop down on enemies as a stone, do a stone uppercut, spin around and drop on enemies as a bigger stone, dash into enemies as a stone. Alright, you've got me beat there. Stone doesn't have much variety in its moveset, sure, but it doesn't need much variety if I can use the same move in more than 90% of all situations I find myself in. I can't use Stone underwater, and I can't use it well if there's a bottomless pit right under me, but Stone works well in the vast majority of other situations. Stone is a copy ability that deals heavy damage and has plenty of invincibility, which is pretty much the two biggest factors I look for in a copy ability. First reason, Hammer is right behind Stone as my second favorite copy ability. Now to address the final point, which is that I probably rely on all my friends to deal damage, while I sit there as an invincible Stone. It is true that I sometimes have to wait in Stone form until the boss or enemy moves away from me so I can revert out of Stone form safely. Contact damage with enemies when I come out of Stone form is one of the biggest issues I and probably many other people had when starting to use Stone. When I come out of Stone form, I lose all my invincibility that I had while I was in Stone form, and I leave myself vulnerable to any damage. This is where spacing comes in. If I hit a boss a certain way, close enough that my Stone attack deals damage to the boss, yet far enough that the boss doesn't deal contact damage to me once I break out of Stone form, I can quickly rack up damage. And not to toot my own horn, but I can deal a pretty decent amount of damage against bosses as Stone when I play with friends. As an example, I'll play against a boss called Mr. Duder. I'm choosing this particular one not only because I can show off Stone well, but also because this boss just has a funny name. You can see how I try to execute the spacing I mentioned earlier where I deal damage and revert out of Stone form with no consequences. Another thing I try to do is predict where the boss will go, which is something that requires being familiar with the boss and its attack patterns, but with this I can let the boss land into my Stone instead of me landing my Stone into the boss. The spinning attack in mid-air before dropping down as a Stone that you see is called Heavy Smash. This is by far my favorite move with Stone. The spinning animation is actually an attack that hits multiple times, and the final attack from the smash deals pretty heavy damage, as you might have guessed from the move's name, Heavy Smash. Landing every hit with this move is just such a satisfying feeling that makes Stone so fun to play as. Remember what I said before about the same move working in more than 90% of situations? That move is Heavy Smash. It can attack enemies from below, enemies to the side, and even enemies right above it. When the spinning attack of Heavy Smash happens, Kirby actually moves upwards slightly into the enemy. After that, the final hit of Heavy Smash still connects with the enemy. This is especially helpful against floating opponents such as the Sphere Doomers and Magolor. I'm pretty proud of this trick since, while I'm probably not the first person to figure this out, I did discover it on my own. Instead of having to fly all the way above or to the side of enemies, this trick makes fighting floating opponents much easier. So what was the whole point of me making this entire video? I'm honestly not sure. I came up with this video idea randomly, while lying on my bed at 5 in the morning, and here we are. I guess the point of this video would be that it's okay for people to have whatever favorite Kirby copy ability they want, and every copy ability is useful in its own way. Well, maybe except that.